Skydiving is no ordinary sport, although those who partake in it are by and large ordinary people. To throw oneself voluntarily from an aeroplane flying at anything from 2,500 to 12,500 feet above the ground, to fall at 174 feet a second must sound to most people like sheer madness. Yet skydiving, like many other adventure sports in Ireland, is rapidly growing in popularity and is without doubt one of the most exhilarating of them all. There are about 200 people skydiving in Ireland, and Mick Kennelly, one of the most experienced of the Irish instructors, explains how to go about becoming involved.
Well, the first thing we do, we hold training courses down here every Saturday, and they last for 10 hours, basic ground training. And we teach you first how to leave the aircraft, how to fly your body, because you just don't jump out in a bundle, because you're flying on air. There's a certain amount of air rushing against your body, and you have to be able to control your body against that air. And then we show you how to steer the parachute, how to get down into a certain area, and then we show you how to actually land, which is very important, because it's no use jumping out of an aircraft, doing everything perfect, and then coming down and breaking your ankle because you didn't land right. What we have to do in parachuting is we have to teach you all the things on the ground before we even let you near it. Because there's so many, we don't teach you what's going to happen. We teach you more or less what can happen, so you're ready for anything that may happen. The parachute may not open, so we have to tell you how to react if it doesn't open. It's a fairly slow progression in Ireland because of the weather. You know, we're really restricted, because a student, when you start off, if the wind is any stronger than 10 miles an hour, you cannot jump. So therefore you're really restricted to the weather there. But you have an instructor jumping with you every time you jump. And he critiques you when you leave the aircraft. He tells you what you did. If you did it right, then you progressed onto another stage. If you didn't do it right, you have to stay there until you do it right. Then eventually, when you get to the stage, what we call it a general permit, it means you can jump without the supervision of an instructor. And that's when you start getting into skydiving.
From basic training to participation in the World Championships is a huge step. So how does one attain the standards required for such competition?
Well, there's a lot of things. One is that if you don't get airtime, what we call as airtime, if you take it that a guy now going to the States, Michael Olden, he's 1,000 jumps, but the amount of airtime, the amount of time he's actually been falling is only 7 hours. So if you can relate that to a guy who's, say, playing squash for 7 hours, you wouldn't think him to be very good, but 7 hours is an awful long time in free fall. And so the more time you have in the air, the more experienced you become, the more relaxed you become. But because of the aircraft in Ireland, we don't get all that much airtime. Like in the United States, all of the jumps are made from 12,500 feet, where they get a minute and a half. That's nearly a minute and a half in free fall. Whereas in Ireland, our height altitude is 8,200 feet, so we only get about 38 seconds. So the time is very slow building up.
The Irish team trained extensively for their participation in last year's World Championships, which were held in Florida, doing over 300 jumps together and travelling as far as California to get experience of jumping under American conditions. Before every dive, the manoeuvres are carefully rehearsed on the ground, called dirt diving, as a grip not properly taken or a move not correctly performed can lead to lost points. Every dive is monitored from the ground and is recorded on videotape, so there's no argument with the accuracy of scoring.
Okay. Okay. Everything go goed now.
Apart from the usual club activities, the more experienced members frequently display their skills at the many air shows around the country during the summer, like the annual Air Spectacular at Fairy House. Mick Oulton is the captain of the Irish team. How did he hope to do with the World Championships?
Well, we hope to do as well as we can. We should be at least in the first 10 or 15, we hope. But we don't really know. We haven't seen the other teams practicing. We don't know how good they are. We know the first 10 always are excellent. You know, they do about average of 10 to 12 maneuvers. And we're at this stage averaging about 6.
Ireland were one of 22 countries represented at the World Championships in Florida, where the cream of the world's jumpers illustrated the high degree of sophistication to which the sport is developed. Many world records fell to the advanced techniques of the Americans, Canadians and Australians, whose precision relative work was positively breathtaking to watch.
You ask me where to begin. Am I so lost in my sin? You ask me where did I fall? I'll say I can't tell you when. But if my spirit is lost, how will I find as sun shall rise in the east, so shall my heart be at peace. And if you're asking me when, I'll say it starts at the end. You know your will to be free is matched with love secretly, and talk won't alter your prayer. Somehow you find you are there. Your friend is close by your side and speaks in far ancient tongue. A season's wish will come true. All seasons begin with you. One world we all come from. One world we melt into one. Just hold my hand and we're there. Somehow we're going somewhere. Somehow we're going somewhere.
Skydiving is a team sport in which the alien sky in time becomes a natural place to be, and in it are built lasting friendships based on mutual respect and trust. Man may not be able to fly like a bird, but in skydiving, he's come pretty close to it.